Good evening. Good evening, conscious creators. It's Sunday, September the 6th, I believe. Yeah, September the 6th, 2020. How's everybody doing? It's time for 7 at 7 on Sunday. Your mini life coach session. It's a mini session tonight. Welcome, conscious creators. I'm Jean, life coach, also known as the conscious creator, like yourself, co-creating with whoever I can grab. Hope y'all are having a great Sunday. Hope it's winding down the weekend again. But the weekend is going to be extended because we have a Labor Day holiday tomorrow. So extending the weekend. So have a great Labor Day tomorrow. Hope you're planning something besides labor. An extra day. Kirk Franklin, smile. You know, we don't have any rights to the music. We want to make sure that the powers to be understand that we recognize that we do not have any rights to the music, but we do enjoy it. So that's what we're doing. We're enjoying Kirk Franklin's Smile. I know you know him. You know the guy. Um, he and his GP, his God people. Yeah, they do. They do. They do quite a bit of smiling and on the Billboard Awards and just, he's still doing his thing. He's still doing his thing. Getting a little older, but you know that happens to us. Anyway, hi. Hi, Karen. How you doing, girl? Anyway, we're here tonight on Sunday. Our usual 7 o'clock Sunday. I'm talking a little bit over the noise, but I want to play it a little bit. I've got a few minutes before 7, so I don't have a long night planned, so listen to a little music too. But anyway, tonight, our usual 7 at 7. Hi. Hello, Karen. Hi. We're going to be, I don't know, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. You know, we're going to talk about a few things. I didn't plan anything really. I really sit down and, kind of go over my week and see what I wanted to talk about. I usually do that, on Sunday morning. But I didn't today. I didn't because I had an opportunity to, I'll share. I had an opportunity this morning at 7 o'clock. I spent a morning breakfast on the phone talking to one of the conscious creators from the group page. I hope he tunes in tonight because it was an awesome conversation, an awesome talking. I'm going to share a little bit about what we talked about today. I know he'll probably not mind if I shared. It wasn't a coaching session. It wasn't any private anything, but just just talking to him and he's a young man from a single parent, a single dad. He's raising two children, a little boy and a little girl. Cutest little people. I think Joseph and Emily. He's dad to them. And, we kind of talked. He's a life coach like myself. Kind of doing often doing a little bit different because, we all have our niche, our passion and what we're talking about and what we're sharing and how we're supporting, the collective, the community. So I will share a little bit about it. But Tom, I hope you're out there. I hope you're listening. Hope you're going to tune in. Hope you remember to tune in. But, it is a little bit later. He was in Liverpool, and his little town is called Paradise. So he lives in Paradise, Liverpool, United Kingdom, England, or something like that. I think it's England. But anyway, we talked this morning. It was a good conversation. He had his cup of tea, and I had my cup of coffee. So we had a conversation about consciousness, awareness, about the same old stuff that's happening over here in the U.S. of A. I got some of the same concerns and same situations and problems. I mean, COVID is all over the place. So COVID was part of our topic. We talked about that. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But tonight, 7 to 7, welcome. Come on in here. I'm gonna tune down Mr. Franklin in just a minute or so. But I want to give people a time to get in because, like I said, I don't have a lot planned. I'm just gonna kind of hodgepodge and potpourri of things. I share some of my week with you that is relative, to consciousness and awareness. Share a little bit of that with you today. So come on in. I'll be making a few announcements. I'm going to turn it down there. I think that's probably enough. I think Curtis Friendly's finished. But anyway, welcome to 7 at 7. I'm Jean Aaron, life coach, also known as the conscious creator, such as yourself, like you are, manifesting and creating my human experience, and I enjoy it. I love it. I it's just not always, it's not always a cup of tea, or or a slice of pie, but it is what it is, and we I make do with it. But I enjoy it. I'm not a complainer. My daughter was here earlier, and we were talking about just how we allow things, how we like allow life to kind of throw curves at us, and then we grab hold of it, and we just chew on it and stew on it, and make a big deal out of it, instead of embrace it. It's happened. Let's move on. And she reminded me. She said, "Yeah, Mom, I remember when I was little, and I would tell you that I was just so just wish I wasn't so tall, because she's a basketball player. She's a tall young lady, and she would say, I would tell you that I didn't want to be tall. I didn't want to be tall, and you would tell me, well, just go cut your legs off and see how that'll feel. She says, Mom, you just didn't sympathize with me at all. I says, well, I did for a minute. I was tall too. I had the same kind of problem growing up. I was usually taller than the guys, So but anyway, we kind of laughed a little bit about, hanging on to your misery a little bit longer than we should. And I don't even know how the conversation came up. I'm not sure. The kids were running around doing their thing. But anyway, yeah, we do that sometimes. She's a young lady, and she's she's young, but she's got a lot of wisdom under her scalp, up there. She does have a lot of wisdom. I was telling her and her husband that I was proud of them, because they made a good team. They're good backup for one another, and good mom and dad too. But anyway, again, welcome to 7 at 7. I'm Jean Aaron, life coach, and also known as the Conscious Creator. And tonight we're gonna have our usual mini life coach session. And usually what I do is I go back through the week, and I look at something that kind of cropped up in my week, and kind of plan a little 17-minute talk. But like I said, tonight I don't have anything actually planned out tonight, and I apologize. I hope you're not going to be too disappointed, but I'm going to try to make it up for you, because I'm going to share some of the things that happened during the week that may be of interest to you. But first, let me say that we are still doing on Thursday night, we're doing the Zoom, doing Conscious Creators Toolbox on Zoom. Last Thursday night, we did about an hour and a half, 15-20 minute session. And we we're talking about your conscious individuality, you as a conscious being, and how, you're created. We're all the same, we're all one, but we have the uniqueness of who we are. So we kind of kicked that off a little bit. We talked more probably about who we are and what we are, more so than we didn't really get into the individuality. Kind of at the very last we did, and we kind of left there with some questions. So I'm going to share some of those questions and those comments that were made in regards to Thursday night. But I would like to invite you, if you're interested in being a part of those sessions. Right now, for this month, we're only doing 14 slides on Thursday, because we do want to allow interactive, talking back and forth, interactive, to have you talk and answer questions and share, because that's what it's all about. It's an opportunity. Conscious Creators Toolbox is an opportunity for you to take a look at your creative abilities and your creative powers, and really talk about them. And a lot of times we don't know what they are, or we don't recognize what they are. And then when we do recognize what they are we using them and utilizing them properly? So we kind of talk about that. So I like to leave enough space and time for the people that are participating, that are attending the sessions, an opportunity to talk and to discuss. Because of COVID, I've had to kind of modify it a little bit. I was doing open sessions in person, and usually those sessions were anywhere from 12 to 15 people. I don't think we ever had any more than about 15 people. That's a max we've ever had, and it was always an intimate group, and it was an opportunity. It was it was an opportunity for you to be very expressive and be very open and very honest, and it was a safe space. We had an opportunity, to share, and we kind of made an agreement between us that what we say and share in the sessions were for the session, and it wasn't for publicity or for going around and talking and sharing. So it was a safe space as well. So a lot of times, when we're talking about who we are and what we are and what we can and can't do, we want to be able to be as free and open as we can. So Conscious Creators Toolbox is just an opportunity for you to share and to be open and learn and share. Share. You learn. We learn. We as human learn more from interactive and sharing. You tell me, I tell you, kind of things, and watching you and you watching me, and then trying what me try what she does and try what he does, and so we learn from sharing with each other. So that's what I want. I want Conscious Creators Toolbox to always be that. And since COVID, it had me kind of just talking to the screen, sometimes my own face. I kind of got a little lonely because it wasn't what it was originally set out to do, and that was to have the participants share and to actively participate in the discussion. So that's that we're getting back to that with Zoom, and it was very interesting. It was a little bit different because it was the media platform rather than in person. But of course, you can see. I don't know if you know about Zoom, if you had an opportunity to experience Zoom, but you do have an opportunity to see that who's there and share back and forth. Didn't have a lot of sharing because I guess it was new and wasn't sure about who raising hands and things like that. But we got to get it. We got to figure it out. We had about 10 people, I think, nine people, and 10 with me on a call last week on Thursday. So I'm hoping that we can get 14 people. I like to see a crowded room. I would like to see that. If you're interested in taking part of that, those sessions are $10 per session. And that's basically because, nothing is free. We have to pay Zoom to do whatever. And then I have to pay, this young lady that kind of helped me, she's the media assistant. I don't know what she calls herself, but she's a media specialist. And she, we have to pay her too. So the sessions are $10 per session. I'm asking, we're doing PayPal. We're doing Zelle. We're doing, what's the other ones we're doing? PayPal, Zelle. Wait a minute, I'll tell you. Well, anyway, I don't have the list. But anyway, we're doing. What I'll do is I'll post it online, and you can give you all the IDs and how you can register and sign up for it, and how you can get your link and your passcode if you want to go. Again, it's only 14 people, so first come, first get it, first grab it. The sessions are again $10 per session. 4 sessions. If you were doing the whole month, it would be $35. But we've already missed one, so probably be better just to do $10 per session. You can decide which ones you want to do. And we will be talking about conscious individuality, your conscious individuality all month. And basically we're looking at, how you are unique, being and the same. You're this, we're one in the same, made out of the same stuff, but we do have some unique aspects and qualities and traits about ourselves. So we're going to get around to talking about what those are and how important they are. So if you're interested, watch we'll post on the group page, all the links, all the ways you can register to sign up for the sessions and be a part of that, event. And we will continue to, we're not actually recording them, well, we're recording them, but we're not actually posting them online just yet because we've got to decide. We don't want to, we don't want to, well, we want to be fair. We want to, make sure that we're fair to people. We don't want to charge one person something and then we post it on a YouTube channel for free. So that's not fair to those that do that. So we got to figure out how we can do it. Maybe we could post part of the session and go that way. But we'll see what happens. But please, if you're interested and if you have any questions about it, message me, and inbox me. You can email me at info@jeanaaron.com. I'll answer any questions, and I usually respond pretty quickly. When I get emails, I don't sit on them unless they get lost in spam. But I usually go check spam too. So if you have any questions or comments, give me a call or message me or email me or text me, or if you have my number, call me. I don't care. Call me up too. Anyway, so glad you're here tonight. I'm happy to be here tonight. I want to share two things I want to share. First, I want to share, I do want to do a shout out to Tom from Paradise, Liverpool, England, British, Great Britain. We had a phone conversation this morning. It was very, wow. I don't know who could talk. I don't know. Life coaches. We can gab. Good for gab. But he shared. We're talking. We were actually talking about, because I think he has a group. He has a community as well over in England. And like I said, he's a single parent, and his passion, or uh, his call, and what who he serves, or single parents like himself, especially men, single parent men who are raising their children as single parents. So that's just, and he's aware and conscious, and he's also very, very touched by the events, current events. He maintains the current. I'm gonna have to sit down and talk to him about the news. And I don't know how they do it in England, but over here, you turn on the news you turn the news on at 7 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna get the same story probably 12 times during the day. And he's probably doing the same thing, because he was sharing with me how he was having some nightmares, and, wasn't sleeping good. And then he started talking and telling me. And I thought, when he's telling me that, telling me about all the news, and I was like, oh, yeah, he's keeping up with the current events quite well. So that's enough to keep you awake at night, or keep you, having nightmares, or double checking the doors and stuff like that if you're watching the news. So I have to have another conversation with him to kind of give him a little bit of my advice on maintaining your level of current events, your current events. Because, wow, we can get into the news and it could take us for a trip, can't it, y'all? We know. But anyway, the conversation, we talked a little bit about consciousness, and basically the conversation was about awareness, and how awake we are, and how awake we're not, and the impact that it has on us as just a human race, and how it's difficult for people like himself and myself, it's a challenge to encourage people to recognize who they are, and really step into the role of who they are, and because we don't, we got all these problems, and the situation, and life just keeps going, all kind of crazy and haywire. And then there's so many voices and so many things that are coming at us at the same time, with their message and their message and this message and this message, that, you get confused. And even if you are awake, you get confused. And we over talked each other and under talked each other, and laughed, and then he finally said, Gina, I gotta go. I got my kids running around here, so I gotta go. So I don't know. We spent maybe about a little over an hour talking, but it was a great conversation. And we are planning on having him come actually on one of my sessions. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it either for the Conscious Creators Toolbox, or maybe on a Sunday have him maybe talk a little bit about what his passion is, and maybe share a little bit about what he does. But if he's out there tonight, I really appreciate the conversation. It got me going. And it really did. It stirred the juices up, and it gave me an opportunity to talk to another life coach that that has the same kind of fire and passion and just drive that I have, and other life coaches that I know have. So thanks again, Tom, for the conversation, and we will set up that call. We'll set up that call where you can actually talk to the folk here in Conscious Creators Toolbox. Or Conscious Creators Facebook page. We don't know. We'll do one or the other. We'll set that up. Another thing that I did this week, these are all Gene kind of things. I'm not talking too much about my clients. We have some things with my clients too, but that particular event with, how's everybody doing? Hi, Tom, there you are. But what was I? Oh, I was saying that I don't often get an opportunity to share because I have a coach and I have a mentor, and I have people that encourage me and build me up, and spot check me and recheck me, or recalibrate, or rechannel me, whatever, tune me in, tune me out, whatever I need. I have a session with my coach every now and again, but this week he encouraged me. He invited me to do a webinar on one day this week. It was either Thursday or Friday. Well, I think it was earlier one day this week, a webinar, and it was about it was it's a really interesting webinar. And what I want to do is I want to share a little bit about what I got from that, because it kind of made me it kind of stopped me a little bit and made me kind of go back and really rethink some information that I had shared on when I'm talking to my clients. And one of those had to do with no, I don't think I told you about the title of the webinar, and I don't even think that matters really. But what they were talking about that was so interesting to me, and really had stopped me in my tracks, really, to make me kind of go back and rethink some things, and that is how we manifest. And it was about manifestation, because that's my forte. I create. We are creators, and I'm always fine tuning my tools. But anyway, we were talking about how we manifest and how we create what we create. And the topic of choices came up, of course, because choices that's where we start. We start with an intention, and then we make choices, hopefully choices that are associated with those intentions. But then we think about all the things in our lives that we don't, or did not deliberately, or did not intend to create, but we do. Because an intention, it can sneak up on you, I guess. Okay, sometimes. But anyway, the question, the thing that came up that drew me some attention, and I kind of made some notes of that, is a lot of times we take for granted that the choice is absolutely every choice we make, everything we do has a follow up or a result or a consequence. Absolutely everything. So when we're and that consequence is a manifestation. It is a manifestation. And that's why for me, I really tell people that be deliberate and be purposeful in your manifestation. And then I kind of try to give you some ideas on, because you can't, you're not always walking around, deliberately thinking, oh, I want a cookie, or, is that an intention? And, whatever, you're not always mapping your life out, right? So we talked a little bit. I mean, the conversation was basically about how a choice leads to a result or a consequence, and then we kind of start looking at ourselves and looking at our situation and looking at our lives and looking at the experiences that we have, and we like, well, why is this happening? When this is not something that I want. I didn't want this. This is not what I intended. This is not an intended manifestation. I don't want this. So what do you do? How did this happen? Good question. Good question. When you start, and I'll say this, and I don't think I've said this to a client, recently, but I'll tell you this: if you recognize something in your life that you don't want, okay, you don't want it, take some time to really figure out, think about how it came about, because you created it, whether you wanted it, or whether it showed up and you happy with it or unhappy with it. You manifested it. You did it, and you are responsible for it. Okay, so you made the choice. You put all whatever it took to manifest it. It was all you, baby. You may have some partners, because I co-create with you too sometimes. But it's your baby. It's your creation. It's your manifestation. And if it's something that you don't want, and you know that you don't want, and you're very unhappy with it, it's making me sick. It's making me angry. It's taking up some bandwidth in my day and my life. Stop there. Stop right there, and figure out, okay, where did it come from? How did I start? Not that you're gonna figure it out. You're not gonna always be able to go back, because sometimes sometimes we can it could have been 5 years ago, or 5 months ago, or 9 months ago, or 2 weeks ago that that whole train of manifestation started. So you may not be able to go back and really think about it. But even if you can't go back and trace that choice that you made that created it, what you can do is you can own it. You can own it. You say, I did it. Yeah, I did this. I'm responsible for this. I'm not happy with it, but I did it. And you gave it some thought, but I can't figure out when I did it. But What you can do is you can, once you recognize that and you own it and you accept it and you take responsibility of it, change it. Make sure that you be ready next time. You don't want the same thing to show up. You don't know when you started, but you know that it was the result of a choice that you made at some point in time. So don't make that same choice again. Don't make it again. Because if you do, you're going to get it again. Okay? And if you don't, and then you're going to be unhappy again. And if you don't take ownership, and ownership is it's a good start. You start there, owning it. I did it. My bad. I did it. I always say that myself. I want to kick myself, but I always say, I did it. And I might cry. I might cry too. I ain't gonna say, I'm not I whine. But I do take ownership of it. And when she was talking and she was sharing this with us on the webinar, I kind of thought, I said, I think that I need to probably do, maybe do a little workshop or something about making, understanding the process of the real process of a manifestation, the process, the choice, the result, or the consequence, and consequence result, whichever way you want to put it, because it is. Whatever you do, whatever choice you make, it's going to result in something that you want or something that you don't really want. Something's going to happen. And I say consequence because sometimes it is something that you don't want. Most of the times we create stuff we don't want because we end up with things that we're happy with. So it's a consequence. But they're results. Results, consequence, either one. Results, I call results because you're happy about them. Consequences, you got to pay it. You got to pay the pauper for creating this. But just remember, when you're manifesting anything, it takes time. It takes, I guess there is something called, instant manifestation. I won't say there is not, because there probably is. But most manifestations, it takes a period of time. You intend to have a child or a baby. It's going to take you 9 months from that intention to the baby comes, at least 9 months, And, it might take longer because you may have to find, a mate. You got to find, you got to put all the pieces together. A chicken, I think I want to have some chicken for dinner tonight or tomorrow or whatever. If I don't have it in the freezer, then, or the refrigerator to cook it, then that means that I'm going to have to, I might not be able to make it tomorrow night if I don't get hold of some chicken and have it in my frying pan tomorrow. So it takes every intention it's a process. It's not a blink your eye and the genie thing. That's not always the case. So that kind of gives you an opportunity to look at the choices that you make, especially when things show up. That consequence shows up when you get something that you really didn't want. You got to go back and say, okay, I got this, and again, I did it, and take ownership of it. And if you're lucky, some of us can. I've tried in some cases to go back, and sometimes I can go back and find and figure out when I did what I did. I remember several years ago, a couple of years ago, I finally got to Barbados. And it's something that I wanted to do for years and years. And I think the very first time I ever thought about going was probably more than 25 years ago, or almost 30 years ago. I thought about it because I had met a young lady from Barbados, and I really loved loved her accent, and she was from Barbados, and we were friends. I was in college at the time, and we had a part-time job together, and it took me 30 years from my intention to get to Barbados. Well, we know it don't take 30 years to manifest a trip to Barbados, but because it wasn't like a hot item on my list, it was just like, it'd be nice to go to Barbados. Yeah, I want to go to Barbados. And then, maybe 5 or 6 years later, I think I want to go to Barbados. I probably met somebody else that had the accent or from Barbados or whatever. So just a note, just make a note that if a manifestation is not always the genie thing. You don't have to switch your notes or do your magic wand. It takes a minute. It takes some time to manifest. So remember, you make the choice, you make the intention, you do the deed, you add the ingredients and the emotions and the feelings and the focus to it, and then it starts you start magnetizing that that intention to yourself, and eventually it will be. If it's a baby, it's going to take at least 9 months. If it's that new car and you don't have a job, then you're gonna have to rob a bank, figure out that, or just figure out how you're gonna get the money to do it. So it's always a process, but it's always your process, and you initiated it. You started it. You got it. It was your choice. You started it, baby. You gotta pay the pauper. So I wanted to share that with you, and I think I will probably try to work that up when I do another manifestation session. I'll try to kind of work that this webinar information that I got. It was that was just one of the things about it, because it was about an hour and a half webinar, so it got a lot of good meaty stuff in it. But that one, I just wanted to kind of point out to you tonight, because I really want you to manifest the life that you want, and I want you to have more results, good results, rather than bad consequences. Because bad consequences, we gotta usually pay for something, or pay some time, or spend some time undoing something and redoing something, scratching our heads trying to figure it out. So the more information more understanding that we know about how we manifest and how we create, the better creators will be, and the better people will be, and the happier we'll be. One of the things that I definitely, and I'm going to leave you with this, one of the things that I definitely tell my clients is, even if you don't always know, you're not always sitting around mapping your life out like me, this is what I'm going to do, mapping it out. I'm kidding. I don't do that all the time. But because we don't always, we're not always aware that we are manifesting, or that what we're doing is going to be a result, in the sense of manifestation anyway, then what I would say is, live in your authentic self, having a set of principles that you live by, and making sure that absolutely everything that you can possibly do reflect those goals, reflect those principles that you have. And even if you're not, keeping a record, or keeping check, or, keeping a calendar, and this is what I intended today on September the 6th, 2020, and, it should take me about, 9 months, because I'm going to have a baby, or whatever it is. And then you can count, 9 months from now, because we don't do that. But if we have a guiding principle, and we're living our authentic selves, and we're doing the things that serve us, serve that principle, serve that authentic me, that authentic person, being true to me, not hiding it under a bushel, or afraid to be who I am. Be who you are. Be the real you. Live the real you, absolutely, in every aspect of your life, every area of your life. Then your manifestations will be better. They'll get better automatically. Because if you're living the life that you want. You're starting out that morning, you're living the life that you want, then hopefully most of the things, the choices that you make, and the intentions that you intend, or the focus that you put your focus and your attention on, are things that's serving you. So you're going to manifest more things that serve you. Don't get in that loop and doing the same thing over and over and over again, thinking you're going to get a different result, because you're not. You're not going to get a different result. You're going to get the same result. It's just going to be a different day. It's going to be a different month. It's going to be a different year. It may cost you more money, because it's 5 years from now. So don't get in that loop. And we all do. I get there. But I'm hoping that my webinar on Saturday is going to help me tweak my manifestation, the choices that I make, and my intentions and my focus, and making sure that I live as authentically as I can. That authentic gene. I can live the gene, not the neighbor downstairs or across the street. That I'm living gene. I'm living the things that serve me. Live the things that serve you. Live you. Do you. Let them do them, but you do you. And that's a start. That's a great start. And you'll probably make fewer oops, my bad, because you're trying to be like somebody else instead of being like you. So I'm done tonight. Have a great Labor Day tomorrow. If you are interested, throwing kisses at you too. I love you guys too. If you are so inclined to join me on Thursday for the Conscious Creators Toolbox, I would love to have you there. It was such an interesting conversation. one of the things that came up was, and I did post it online, is that we talked about why are we so afraid to be who we are, and that we're not like you, we're not like each other. Why are we so trying to be like everybody else, and really hiding who we are, because we kind of, what makes us afraid to be who we are to everybody. And I mean, we're not the same, but we look for the commonalities in each other, rather than embracing. And really, I love the differences. I love the differences. And I'm always curious about the differences. Somebody said, oh, you like her because she's just like you. Well, that's good. I'll like her. But it's not always I'm not always looking for somebody that's like me. I want somebody that's different from me, because I already know me. I can't learn a whole much more from me. I could, but it's so much more enjoyable, and it benefits me as manifesting my human experience, to have somebody that's different than me. If everybody's like me, then what kind of experience is that going to be? I could stay at home. I could stay at home with my feet propped up all day if everybody was like me, because I know what I'm going to be about. I like the differences. Don't be afraid to be different, and don't be afraid of people that are different from you. Embrace them. Ask them questions. Ask them questions. Start with that. I love you guys. Manifest best. And don't keep doing the same thing you're doing to think you're going to get a different result, because you're not. It's going to happen again and again and again. I love you guys, and I will see you on Thursday. Hopefully, I see some of you on Thursday. Hopefully. If not, I will see you again on next Sunday. I love you guys. I love you guys. You'll be good. Manifest best. Good night.